Hi students, very good evening. Welcome to Sri Ramanuja Vidya Mandir, a temple for learning. Students, today I would like to start very interesting and new topic, that is control and coordination. Students, you will get this topic in the second lesson of your biology concepts. See this is the title of the lesson, students. Control and coordination. Students, before going to the deep of the topic, I would like to give small introduction about the concerned topic. Control. By listening this word, we can easily have something in our mind that taking care of under our control is control. And coordination means it is a teamwork. Different things will come to on the same path, so they'll work for one function. That is called coordination, right? So if you'll see the game, a cricket, okay, so 11 members in a team is going to play and they'll organize properly. So they have to listen his team leader words. So accordingly they should play to win the game. Same principle applies even in the living organism existence also. Let's students, control and the coordination means change in the environment to which organism responds and react are called stimuli. Students, actually, in order to sustain on the nature, every living creature is going to carry out some life process, right? Respiration, circulation, digestion. So all these will come under the life process. In the same way, organism also want to show response to the environmental factors. Like lot of variations we used to get in the everyday climate. Okay, temperatures changes, pH changes, humidity changes. All these are the different physical phenomena, so they may affect the existence of the living creature, right? So the response shown to that every stimuli by the living organism is nothing but the responding. Change in the environment to which organisms respond and react are called stimuli. The responses of organism to a stimulus is usually in the form of some movement of their body. For example, if I suddenly touch with the cooker, so immediately I used to pull my hand back. So reason is that I could sense the touch of heat. So if I won't take my hand, means so it means that I'm not having the sense to my hand, right? And one more example I would like to give about the control and the coordination introduction, that when some object is fall on the floor, so simply you want to take that pen. Okay, first what you have to do, you have to see the object. Okay, so you have to once locate the object where it was there. Then you have to bend. Okay, so with the help of your spinal cord and with your body, you have to bend. Then with the help of your hand, you need to pick the object or a pen, right? Just to take the pen from the floor, you should use your eyes, right? And you have to bend and you have to use your body or spinal cord, and you have to pick the object with the help of your hand, right? So here 3 senses we are using to pick the object from the floor. So there must be a good and proper understanding, coordination between the eyes, your spinal cord, and with your hands. So 3 things should coordinate and should cooperate well, and you need to go for that action, taking off the object from the floor. So it is the external thing. So internal also, I mean inside of the body, we have n number of biochemical process or reactions used to occur each and every minute of our life. Okay, they should be well programmed, well organized, well. Okay, see, this programming and organization simply brought about by a good system in our body, that is nervous system and hormonal system. Okay, so growth is a very slow process in the living organisms. Okay, so when we'll compare animals growth process and the plant growth process, so in the animals, so growth is up to certain age only we can grow, but in the case of the plants, so it grows forever, right? That is the difference we could observe between the plants as well as the animals, right? The coordination occurs by 2 agencies known as those are nervous system and hormonal system. Nervous system includes brain, participation of the brain, spine, or you can also call this as spinal cord, and nerves. Nervous system includes these three factors: brain, the master control of the whole body and very important organ in the body. Next one, spinal cord. And third one is nerves. Next, hormones. Hormonal system. So there are some chemicals are going to secreted from the endocrinal glands of the body. Those are nothing but the hormones, are also called as chemical substances. So these hormones as well as the nervous system will participates in the process of control and the coordination of the many biochemical process in the living organism. Right. Next. Now let us study about the control and the coordination in the plants. Okay. So in every lesson, first of all, we are giving priority to learn about the plants, then we are discussing about the animals. In the same way, in this topic also, let us concentrate on the control and the coordination of the plants. Right. Plant growth and movements. Okay. So, if you see that plant externally, can it move? Can it walk from one place to other place? Is it having any limbs, any locomotory organs to walk or to move? No. So it seems to be stable organism, sedentary. It's a fixed organism. Okay. It won't move from one place to other place like animals. That is the fundamental difference between the plants as well as the animals. Plants do not have nervous system, muscular system or sense organs as in the animals to show the response to any environmental factor. So our plants are not well equipped with the nervous system, hormonal system and sense organs. Even though they still respond and react to the stimuli. Though it is lack of these excellent systems, plants are showing response to the stimuli. What is the secret involved here? Plant shows 2 different types of movements in response to the various. So plants is going to show 2 different types of the movements in response to the stimuli. One type of movement are independent of the growth, whereas other one is dependent on the growth. Okay, let us see the examples. What is independent and what is dependent? One type of movements are dependent upon the growth. Example, so movement of the leaves of the touch me not in response to touch. I think you people might have experienced of a touch me not plant. When you'll touch the plant, the leaves of the plant immediately they'll close. Okay, so after some time they'll open. Okay, so simply they are feeling that leaves are having the sense of touch. Next, other type of movements are dependent on the growth. Example, growing in the downward direction of the root and the stem growing in the upward direction in the seedling. So what is growing in the upward direction and downward direction, students? Let us see plant. Okay, and roots, simply they are present inside of the soil. Okay, root shows geotropism, whereas stem shows phototropism. Okay, the growing in the downward direction of the root is geotropism. Growth of the stem towards the upward direction is known as phototropism. Okay, so these movements is completely depend upon the growth. Next, both these types of movements are affected by action of plant hormones or phytohormones. So both these movements are affected by some chemical substances which are produced in the plant body, are known as plant hormones and phytohormones. Very important term you got here, students, phytohormones. Okay, phytohormones are the chemical substances which are synthesized by the plant in very small quantities. So phytohormones are the chemical substances. So they are having a good crucial role in the day-to-day life of the plant body, but they are produced in very small quantities, and they are formed in the one tissue or organ of the plant body and are then transported to the other sites where they produce the specific effect of the growth and development. Here I want to say one general point about the hormones. It is applicable even in the plants and the animals. Hormones are simply, students, they are some of the chemical substances. Okay, they are the chemical substances. Their site of action is differ from the site of production. For example, there are the part A. Okay, so A is the part A. So if we'll see the production here, okay, if you'll see the production of hormones here, and their action somewhere of the body or somewhere, okay, like part C. So production place is different from the site of action. Okay, so here they'll show their action, site of action. That is the very important point you should aware of that about the hormones. Hormones are the chemical substances. Simply they'll produce in very less quantities in the living organism, but see, they are formed in the one tissue or organ of the plant and are then transported to the other sites where they produce specific effects of the growth and development. So when come to the case of hormones, their site of production is differ from the site of action. Next, coordination in the plant's movement in the plant. See, students, here it is of two types. It is of two types, right? Movement depend upon the growth and movement independent of the growth. Just now in the previous slide I have given the example of touch me not plant. It is completely independent of the growth. So it is nowhere related to the growth and development process. Simply when you will touch a leaf of the touch me not plant, immediately it shows the movement. It closes. Okay, so that is irrespective of their growth process. Okay, and next the first one, tropic movements, directional movements in response to the stimulus. It is completely depending upon the growth and developmental procedures. Okay, and even under this also we have different types of the growth processes: phototropism, geotropism, chemotropism, and hydrotropism. So what are those, students? Phototropism. Phototropism. Okay, and second kind is geotropism. Third one is chemotropism. And the final one is hydrotropism. Hydrotropism. So all these are the new words for you people. So remember all these, very important. Phototropism. Plant body shows growth towards the light. So it shows its growth just towards the light. Light is influencing the growth of the certain particular part of the plant here. Okay, so that is phototropism. Geotropism, movement towards the gravity. Movement towards the gravity. So this applicable to the roots, whereas phototropism is applicable to the stem elongation, okay, or stem growth. Chemotropism, towards the chemicals, growth of pollen tube towards the ovule. Okay, in the lesson of embryology we can explain about this. So the movement towards the chemicals, generally pollen tube towards the ovule. So if this is the stigma, here we are having the style, no? Okay, so here, so pollen tube is developed through the movement of the pollens to the pollen tube. Okay, for the process of fertilization to occur, there should be a movement of pollen grains into the pollen tube. Okay, so that will come under the chemotropism. The best example is movement of the growth of the pollen tube towards the ovule. Hydrotropism, movement towards the water. So it is towards the chemicals, whereas the last one is hydrotropism. It is just towards the water. Okay, so all these are the dependent upon the growth procedures. Okay, so phototropism, geotropism, chemotropism, and the final one is hydrotropism. Next, phytohormones are different types, namely auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, abscisic acid, ethane. So in this lesson we are going to learn about the 5 different phytohormones. What are those? Auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, abscisic acid, and the final one is ethane, are also called as ethylene. See students, so this slide is showing the different phytohormones. Okay, plant hormone, growth promoters and growth inhibitors. If the hormone involves in the process of growth promotion or elongation of any stem or elongation or growth of any root, so we'll call them as a growth promoters. And next category is growth inhibitors. There are some chemical substances, simply they'll affect very effectively, they'll work very effectively for the restriction process. Okay, simply they are going to inhibit the growth. Okay, so there are 2 types of the plant hormones here, growth promoters and growth inhibitors. Simply they'll restrict the growth. Okay, growth promoters, auxins, cytokinins, gibberellins. Growth inhibitors are ethylene, abscisic acid. Out of 5, 3 are well regarded as growth promoters and 2 are known as growth inhibitors. Right. First, let us discuss about the very important phytohormone, and it is having very much importance in the plant life cycle. That is auxins. Okay. Auxin stimulates the growth by promoting cell elongation. Okay, simply that helps in the process of cell elongation. For example, this is the cell and they'll helping the cell to enlarge or helps to enlarge in its size and elongation. And auxins allows the apical dominance. Actually, auxins generally used to produce in the apical part of the root or stem. So this is the apex. So this is, if you assume this is the root or stem, so the apical portion of the root or stem, you could observe the production of auxins here. Okay, production of auxins. So generally here we could see that presence of meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue. Okay, generally auxins are produced in the meristematic tissues of the apical regions of stem or a root. Next, and one more important factor we need to learn about the auxins, that is auxins allows the apical dominance. What do you mean by apical dominance, students? For example, let us students, this is the plant and the root. Okay, apical dominance means, students, so this is the shoot region or shoot region and this is the root region, right? Generally, so at the apex of the or apical region of the shoot, we could observe the production of auxins, right? So these are the chemical substances. Simply they allows only the growth of a plant in a upward direction. Okay, simply they allows the growth of the plant, so the growth of the apical buds only, but simply they doesn't allows the growth of lateral buds. So in such case, plant always grows in the only single direction, that too upward direction. So we could not observe the production of lateral branches. So the reason is that they are restricting the growth of the lateral buds. So that is nothing but the apical dominance. Now you see the definition. Apical dominance under which they inhibit the development of lateral buds and let the apical bud to grow. Simply they will allow the growth of apical bud only, but simply they'll in the same way simultaneously they are restricting the growth of the lateral buds. Okay, it is very important topic. Okay, that is apical dominance. Next, auxins initiates the development of dwarf roots. Auxins initiates the development of dwarf roots, and it also helps in the induction of the parthenocarpy. So you might have observed seedless fruits known as parthenocarpic fruit. Already we are available. So in the market, seedless grapes.